Empathy is mainly associated with the person-centered approach to counselling, but these days it is seen as vital in any model. The person-centered model was developed by Carl Rogers in California in the 1950s. Rogers was a humanistic psychologist. He was born in 1902 and he died in 1987. He believed for a person to grow, they need an environment that provides congruence, unconditional positive regard and empathy, or being heard and understood. Without these, relationships and healthy personalities will not develop to their fullest potential. In this session, we're going to look at empathy. Rogers first saw it as a state, but by the mid-1970s, he had refined his definition.
It involves being sensitive moment to moment to the changing felt meanings which flow in this other person, to the fear or rage or tenderness or confusion or whatever that he or she is experiencing. It means temporarily living in his life, moving about in it delicately, without making judgments, sensing meanings of which he is scarcely aware, but not trying to uncover feelings of which he is totally unaware, since this would be too threatening. It includes communicating your sensings of his world as you look with fresh and unfrightened eyes at elements of which he is fearful. It means frequently checking with him as to the accuracy of your sensings and being guided by his responses. You are a confident companion to him in his world. By pointing to the possible meanings in the flow of his or her experiencing, you help him to focus on this useful type of referent, to experience his meanings more fully and to move forward in his or her experiencing.
So, it's about somebody else's world and seeing things from their perspective, from their point of view. And that's hard to do because if it's to be done accurately, then you're going to have to put aside your own judgments and opinions about how things are or how you believe they should be. It can also be difficult not to rescue or to try to get somebody to feel better. Imagine if your friend told you, for example, that they'd been dumped by a boyfriend and said they felt stupid because they should have seen it coming. Perhaps you would say something that would go along the lines of, "You're not stupid. How could you have known?" Now, your intention is good, but that isn't an empathic response, because what you have done, in fact, is dismissed their feelings. You didn't hear what they said. An empathic response would be something along the lines of, "So you feel you should have known and now you're blaming yourself." That would show you'd heard and understood from their point of view. Remember, it's about them and not about you or me. Now, it's one thing to listen and understand, but with empathy, you need to communicate this to the other person. There are several reasons for this. Firstly, it allows them to feel heard and understood. They're less likely to feel judged, and it shows that you're feeling with them rather than, for example, feeling sorry for them. So how might you communicate empathic understanding? Well, you could paraphrase the gist of what the person has said, and do keep that fairly brief, fairly short. You could pick up on any feelings they've mentioned, or even implied. If they've said a lot, you could summarize the important parts. And of course, you could ask for clarification of your understanding. Any of these would show that you've heard and you've understood. from within their frame of reference, and that's really important. It's from their perspective, without your moral code, your opinion, or your having gone through a similar circumstance might have to do with it. And don't forget, empathy is not only useful in helping and counselling work. It's very powerful indeed in any encounter between human beings, and especially where there might be a conflict. One of the main reasons that conflicts are difficult to resolve is in fact a lack of empathy. It can only be helpful to let someone know you understand where they're coming from, even if you don't agree with them. It'll make negotiation an awful lot easier. So here's a summary of what empathy means and how to communicate it. Well, I hope you found that useful. If you did, please give me a like. And if you've got any comments or any questions, I'll do the very best I can to respond. I hope I'll see you soon again. Take care.